And if I could ever grow up, I would be one of them sad singers and do the dying, and everybody would clap and cheer.
And in all the singing, when people heard it, they would have a little piece of beauty.
Which is very important, to have the little piece of beauty is what's in the music. And this is what I realised.
Even though the beautiful singing is sad,
it's still happy in a way. The saddest things fill you up, like in a big way, and you feel so full as in no happiness can bring such.
and also sadness is beautiful.
As beautiful as the singing, as beautiful as the dying, and it would make meaning.
And I would sing the dying, and people would love me.
And I would sing the dying, and out would come the angels to take me away.
I'd never heard such singing before, except when Dr. Bernstein wrote the tapes for me. Even though all the other children like music such as Take That, one little girl has his tape taped out.
I was in the hospital and I kissed you. I looked at your face and I noticed it was round. And everybody came and looked at your face and said you were a spoon face. Because your face was as round as a spoon. When you look into a spoon, see this face.
Just
to
Dad, maybe it is his fault that I'm not right. On the fact that on the day Dad came back when he was out with the floozy, I did fall off the chair. Why are you so negative? You've been with her again.
No, I was at the office in a meeting.
You're a liar. I phoned your office. There was no meeting.
Yes, there was.
You've been on the floozy again, haven't you?
No.
Don't lie to me. It's that stupid, isn't it?
No.
Well, that's fun store. Do you hear me?
Just
a big, so shiny on nappies.
No.
Flashing boobs at everyone.
No.
You are one of the most special girls I've ever known.
And every time she comes, she brings me a sweetie, which is very nice, for she has many problems of her own. She says,
Everyone is different, so that is good. We should all be happy because every person is a very special person. It's good to be different because we're no different and we are the same. Don't you worry about your brain, because to be different is to be who you are.
One day, I started to do the numbers.
This was when Dad came back from the university and he was with a calculator for doing the marks.
He was sat doing the marks when he said two numbers.
17 and 25. 17 and...
42.
That's right, darling, well done. 18 and 29.
47.
Hey, that's right, well done. How about 74 and 37?
111.
Amazing. Bloody hell, spoon face. What about this one? 126 plus 243.
369.
126 plus 243 equals 369. Mum, come here, Mum, quick.
What's up? What's wrong?
Watch this. 135. 135 plus 246.
381.
135 plus 246 equals 381. What about 346 plus 258?
604.
346 plus 258 equals 604.
And then she had to take tablets off the doctor and would stop the vodka at the same time. Except one time she had the pills and the vodka and went to sleep. And I put on her a nice blanket in case she was cold.
The next day, Mrs. Spud came and tidied up where she'd been sick.
funny. That is, when I still had hair. It was hardly noticeable at first.
There was hardly nothing wrong, except I was a bit tired.
But then Mum was very worried that I was thinner and thinner, and that one day I might put away to respect.
And the doctor looked at me like this and said, they said they were going to have to put me in a tube, which was quite horrible, because I'm only little.
I did not want to go into the tube, but they said I would have to on account of being so thin.
And inside the tube, we'll find out what it is.
So you went in the tube, and when you went in, I waved goodbye.
Then, all these computers went off.
And they did all this dialing and wearing. And then there was like some rays or something. And I was in there like it was a space machine. But it never went anywhere, even though it took ages.
And then it came time for me to come out. And when I came out, there was doctors, there was Mum and the doctors waiting, and they said,
Hello?
Hello. The doctor said we would have to check the switches, and that we should all go into a room where Mum could cry, and I could play with Lego. When we was in that room, I got a drink of pop, and Mum said,
This is all very unexpected.
Then the doctor came back, and she said she got an answer off the machines, and the answer was,
That I was going to die.
What? That can't be right. You must have got it wrong. Your computers must be wonky. You need to do the test again.
But then they said how the computers were only new, and that they were very expensive, and that it was definite what they said, and it was that I was still going to die. Only they said there was hope.
There's always hope.
and anyway, that might take a long time for me to die. So I went home for some tea.
Is that you? You need to come home now.
Why?
It's Spoonface. I had to take her to the hospital. She's not well.
What's wrong with her?
You'd never know. You're never here.
Look, she's got really thin recently and she doesn't want to do anything. So I took her to the doctors and they sent us to the hospital and they did some tests and they say she's going to die.
What?
Just come home now.
What do you mean she's going to die?
That's what the doctor said to me.
That's impossible.
Just get back here.
And Dad came, and he said this is the last thing he expected, especially as we had so many troubles.
Anyone in the world.
Kissed me, and he also kissed Mum.
And it's all my fault. I don't really know what to do. I don't know. I'm just a poor young man. Poor young man. Just a poor philosophy man. But I love your man. You know that, don't you? And I love you. But I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sorry. Really sorry. But I love you. You are the most loved child in the whole world.
When his mum was born, she was very brave, even though she was in a concentration camp.
Yes.
Concentration camps are these places where they took Jewish people to burn. This is what the doctor said.
There were loads of people and they all had to sleep on one bunk. And then the Nazis shot them and then they starved them. And it was horrible for this poor man because she was just little. In the whole history of the world, there's never been anything as awful as the concentration camps. But what happened there to the poor people was to show that they never gave up hope, and that no matter the worst thing that could happen to people, they couldn't stop them from being human beings.
Some of the little children were skinnier than I am now with the cancer. And all that was wrong with them was that they just didn't eat. Just a soup. that didn't even have any vegetables in it. And then their mums and dads would be back. Like, there was this one little girl who was with her mum, and a soldier came and hit her on the head and shot her. And the poor little girl had to stand there.
And this little girl was the mum of the doctor, and there were millions of people just like her. So, in comparison to me, it was much worse. And I felt sorry for the doctor as he was telling me this, as he had a little cry in the corner of his eye. And he never said any of this to scare me.
He said all this to help me, because the whole lesson of the stories was that the little children were braver than everybody else. All the little children played games in the middle of the mud. In the middle of the concentration camp, they played. And this was the human spirit, in the middle where their mums and dads were getting gassed.
And they could kill their mums and stuff, but they couldn't kill us inside the minds of the children. And that was the lesson, that no matter how bad it is while we're dying, it's still a wonderful thing that we are alive. And that's what the doctor said. When the soldiers took the poor little children to the ovens.
And the poor children thought they were going for a wash, but everybody knew really they were going to get gassed, because they had seen the smoke of the burning bodies. Then all the children were waiting outside, and all the little children drew things on the walls of the gas chambers where they were about to be cooked.
And some little children wrote poems, and some little children drew pictures. Even today, you can see the pictures of butterflies on the outside. Little butterflies flying up to God. Beautiful butterflies with tender wings that will brush their faces and kiss them better as they flew. That day that he told me this, I cried for the butterflies and for the little children.
And the doctor said that his grandma used to be a singer of the opera before she went to this place. Back then, everyone loved the opera. Not like now, when everyone loves Take That. And all the poor women would lie on their bunks when the lights turned off and think of their husbands who were never to be seen.
Then they would ask Grandma Bernstein to sing, and in the sad dark, she would sing for all the poor skinny women, and she sang all the songs what she knew in the opera, and she sang to all the poor people in the bunks, and for all the poor people who had died, and she sang for the children of the people to come, and that was very important for everyone to have such songs to be sung.
And I would play the music, and in the heart of it, I could hear the singing of the poor grandma on her bunk, and the poor children who wrote the pictures on the walls. And even in the darkest place, there's someone with such a beautiful song to sing.
Straight in.